It's afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon, right? Depending on where it is that you're tuning in from. So I'm excited to be here. I'll tell you what, first of all, Sam and Ray, we've known them for a long time. Love that couple. Just like you, there is a special place in my heart for that couple and everything that they've done and then their service and everything. So I love them and loved so much good stuff. So many good notes, you guys. And then Jason, oh my gosh, that energy kicking us off this morning, the self-talk, the plan B, taking action now, that sense of urgency. So I'm excited for us to share a few things with you guys and close you out for the month. And we're going to play off of each other. It'll be interesting to see how this works out. We're in different rooms. Normally we sit together, but we're not sitting together right now.
Yeah, we got lots of stuff to share with you guys today. And there's a reason why we're spending so much time on mindset. The mindset is, I used to just really teach skills to a lot of people. I thought skills was it. If you got all the skills, you're good at this. And then I realized that it's really mindset. Mindset is really more important than skills. And this is why. Because you could have all the skills and still get there, but if you just have mindset, you can be a juggernaut and you could just bust through walls and get there anyhow with the right mindset. I mean, you're like the Kool-Aid man, just busting things down and getting to where you need to go. And so I think it's Albert Einstein who said that we can't solve our problems with the same thinking we use to create them. Okay, so we need to think differently. In fact, Zig Ziglar always said, he said, if you want things to change, you have to change. And so that's what we want to do in today's session and all month long is really change the way you think. Now, the catch is that can be painful sometimes because the way you think today, as how many ever years you've been on this planet, that's how long it's taken to create the way you think. And now if we want to change that, that's like turning a big ship around and that can be a little bit painful. So you got to be open-minded about this and accept some new thoughts. And we're going to rewire your brain a little bit. So I'll let Holly kick us off with some great nuggets, and then like she said, we'll try to play off each other here.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do our best to try to play off of each other. And one of the quotes that I love from Brian Tracy is, "There are no limits to what you can accomplish except for the limits that you place on yourself." And that fits, I think, perfectly into what Brian's talking about as far as your mindset. Our mindset and our self-talk and the things that we think and say to ourselves, whether it's out loud or in our heads, is so powerful, and it can either make or break us when it comes to achieving our goals and our success. And so Brian and I have been with LifeVantage now for 9 years. This is our 9th year. It's hard to believe. We've loved every step of it, but to say that it was easy and to say that it didn't require sacrifice and to say that it wasn't challenging at times to where I questioned, whether or not we should be doing this. And if you have felt that way, it's okay. You are not alone. It's what you choose to do with those feelings that are going to be the deciding factor. That's where your power is. And so there's like 4 different keys for me from a mindset perspective that I think have helped me be successful along this journey. And it's a continuous growth journey. All right, let's be honest. You're constantly going to be learning and growing, hopefully, okay, along the way. But one of them, of course, is believing in you, believing in yourself. The other one is believing in what you have. All right. And we can touch base on that super quickly. When you talk about the power and believing in what you have, you need to believe that the products and opportunity that you are offering with LifeVantage is impeccable. It is gold. It is priceless. And that anybody and everybody should want to be a part of this. And the reason why you have to believe in it so bad and that your belief is unwavering is because the people that are the closest to you may be the ones that are going to doubt you. The people closest to you may be the ones that are going to challenge you. The people closest to you may be the ones that are going to tell you, you're not going to make this work. And that hurts a little bit. That hurts. It can hurt a lot. Right? But that's where the mindset comes in. That's where you have to believe in what you have is way more powerful than that. Most of the time, they act that way, not because they're trying to hurt us, because they're actually just trying to protect us. So think about that. It's all about perspective. So believing in yourself, believing in what it is that you have, detaching yourself from the outcome. And I think actually Jason touched on this a little bit in his own way. So I'm not going to talk about that. But what I really wanted to focus on for you guys from a mindset perspective was it's not up to you. All right. I want you to repeat that with me. It's not up to you. All right. And what I mean by that is ask yourself this question. Have you ever thought of someone that you wanted to introduce these products or services to, and the opportunity to, and you said, they're too busy? Guilty, right? If you are guilty of any of these, I want you to be dropping yeses in this chat. All right. There's no judgment here. We've all been through this journey. All right. I want you to think about it. I want you to say, did you say they're way too busy? They'll never have time for this. All right. Did you go ahead and say to yourself, you know what? They're okay financially. They don't need any more money. They've got too much going on. They don't need this extra cash. What if you said to yourself, they can't afford it? That's a big one. That's a big one. How many times have you hesitated in sharing this opportunity with someone because you figured they couldn't afford it? Well, if you've been with us for any length of time, hopefully you've heard enough stories to realize that, well, where there's a will, there's a way. And when someone is ready to turn their obstacles into their opportunity, they will find a way to make it work. All right. And we're not going to get into all the different ways that can happen, but I want you to, when it comes to that mindset, the second that you start putting labels on whether or not someone should or shouldn't do this, I want you to stop. I want you to stop immediately. Stop the madness. Just tell yourself that's not the reality. It's not up to you. It's not up to you to decide. It's not up to you to prejudge whether or not someone is going to have interest or find value in LifeVantage. Right? And I share this, and this is one of my, again, everything comes from lessons. Okay. Now, there was a coworker of mine early on in our business who I always admired her spunkiness, her positivity, her energy. I was following her on Facebook and her family. She's loves her kids. And guess what? I did not ask her. Why? Because I prejudged. I decided that based on everything I was seeing, social media, that she was too busy and that she wasn't going to have time for this. And I also thought that she would want nothing to do with network marketing. Nothing. I didn't even believe enough in the industry at the time to have the posture to share it. Well, guess what? Brian may even remember this. We ran into this person on a plane. We were headed to an event and we got to talking, and next thing I know, and I find out, this girl is with another company now and killing it. Killing it. She is in the top ranks of this company. You can't see any part of her social platforms without not knowing what she's doing, what she's involved in. She is bold. She is out there. She is confident and proud of what it is that she's doing. So again, I ask you this, or I remind you, it's not up to you. Do not prejudge. So we're going to talk about some call to actions, Brian, and I don't know if we want to try to, I have some ideas on how to maybe incorporate that into our call to action when we reach out to some folks. But that was one of the biggest things for me from a mindset perspective that was the most powerful in determining who I was going to talk to. And that was everybody who was willing to listen, because I had no idea what was going on in people's lives. And I missed out on some incredible opportunities. Obviously, it created an opportunity for her somewhere else because someone else was willing to not prejudge and to ask. So.
And I've got a similar story that's another example that I'm going to get to that in a little bit. I want to ask everybody on this call here to kind of classify themselves and really, I want you to judge yourself a little bit hard here, because you kind of fall into three categories right now. Especially if you're brand new, you may fall into the category of what I call you're interested. Okay, you're interested. You're interested in this. You kind of see a little bit. You know, it sounds interesting. You like the idea. And to be honest, we were interested in this for months before we really got to work. You know, Holly and I come from corporate backgrounds. She worked in banking for 20 years. I was an engineer with a phone company for over 20 years. And I was also a sports coach. I was a volleyball coach. And that's actually how this opportunity landed in our lap as a fellow volleyball coach, shot us that ABC video and explained that there's a business tied to this as well. And that's what got our foot in the door. And we were interested. It sounded like good. And I thought, well, this would be a good way to kind of make a little bit of extra money. That was my initial going in. We had no idea or didn't even see the vision or the vehicle to get us to where we are today. Okay. Now that's the first category. You're interested, right? Second one is you're committed. You're committed. Now that may mean you see the vision of this. Okay. And this feels good, you know. If it feels good for you, you kind of see it. You're committed. You're doing the do. You're learning the skills and going through it. But for those that are setting their sights on this as really something different, life changing, you've got to make the leap from committed to fully committed. There's a big difference there. Big difference between just being committed to this and being fully committed to this. And the best way to explain this actually is I want to share a short little video with you, because I think this video hits the nail on the head of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Okay, watch this video here. This is what I mean by being fully committed in something. Okay, this guy's fishing. He's got a bass on the line here. Nice size too. Oh, it fell off the hook. And he jumps in after this fish. He was not letting that fish get away.
Yes! Did you see that? Did you see that?
So he got his fish. So that's what I mean by the difference between being committed and fully committed. The committed person, yeah, they got the boat in the water. They got up early in the morning, right? And they went fishing, they baited the hook, and they're doing the skills, right? But the fully committed person isn't letting that fish get away. And I do not want you to let this fish get away. Okay? So there's different parts to mindset. You know, Holly talked about belief, and that is a big one. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in the system. You've got to believe in a lot of different things, and that's going to build over time. As Holly said, we've been in this 9 years now, and our belief just keeps building and building and building higher in this. Okay. I said before, the vision, you've got to see the vision in this. You got to have a vision. And when you're fully committed, you're sharing your vision, because the other people don't have that vision yet. So you got to let them borrow your vision. And you got to, if you learn the skill of how to get people to see the vision, that you're halfway there, right there. And the other part is the decision, because you can have that vision, have the belief, but if you don't decide to do anything with it, then it doesn't mean anything, right? So you got to make that decision. But the last part is you have to subtract out your excuses. This was a big one for us. This was huge for us, is that we were calling our excuses, we weren't calling them excuses. We were calling them reasons. Okay.
It sounds so much nicer, doesn't it?
Yes. If we call them reasons, then they sound valid, right? There's a reason my LifeVantage business isn't growing, because I'm working 2 jobs right now. There's a reason my LifeVantage business is not growing, because I got a big project at work, or I'm trying to raise kids, or whatever it is. Those are maybe in your head you're calling them reasons, okay, but they are excuses. They are excuses, and once you start looking at them that way, it's going to change your mindset a little bit, and you're going to really see more of the vision of how this vehicle called LifeVantage can get you into a better situation than where you are now. Okay, and that's huge, guys. Your reality is a reflection of your strongest belief. So where you are right now, your current reality is a reflection of your strongest belief. And so if we can raise that belief level to a higher level, then guess what? Your reality is going to follow there.
Right. And your reality is going to lead us all to Cabo. We're going to have our feet in the sands. We're going to have our beverage of a choice, right? That sun basking down. I know many of us are anxious and we just want to get out of our house. Let's be honest. I think a lot of us would just be happy for just to like go and stay somewhere else just for a night, just to feel.
So let's talk about how to get to Cabo. And before I do that, I want to share that quick story I told you about earlier. And it's different, but very similar concept to what Holly, because guys, you got to act with some urgency. And Jason said it before. He said, February is going to happen anyway. March is going to happen anyway. April, and before you know it, April's here, May's here. That time's going to pass by anyway. And every day that you do not do something to grow your business is lost time. And I want to share a little story with you. I met a lady, and turns out she was a chiropractor. And so naturally the conversation turned to healthcare. And I asked her, I said, hey, are you open to just me coming into your office and spending 20 minutes and showing you something? And she said, sure, come on in. And I showed her the ABC video, and we talked for a little bit, and she signed up to be a distributor on the spot. Now, fast forward about a week, and I get a phone call from a distributor that's not on our team. She was cross-lined to us, and she said, hey, I got to tell you a story. And I said, what? She said, I had my upline in town, and we were calling around and trying to set up some appointments. And I set up an appointment with one of my friends. And I went over to her place, and I was showing her the video, and she stopped me. She said, wait a minute, is this LifeVantage? And she said, yes. She said, oh, I just signed up to be a distributor 2 days ago.
Yep.
Same person. It was the same person that I had signed up. And when she's telling me this story, I felt bad. My initial was, I felt horrible that she was a stranger to me, but she put off talking to her, she said, for a year, because she had some fear about it. She wasn't sure what she was going to think. But since she was a stranger to me, I didn't care, right? I didn't have that fear. But she had fear, and she kept putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. And then when she finally gets the courage to go and talk to her, I'd already signed her up because I beat her to the punch just 2 days before she talked to her. So I felt bad, but she said, you know what? This is a good thing. She said, this taught me a very valuable lesson, not to wait, to treat this with urgency. And I want you all to treat this with some urgency. Who's going to get to your friends before you do? Okay. That's what keeps me up at night. My team asked me, Brian, what do you worry about? And I'm like, I'm not worried about this company. I'm not worried about where we're going. I'm not worried about this. The only thing that keeps me up at night, the only thing I'm worried about is someone's going to get to my prospect before I do. Yep. That's the only thing that keeps me up at night. So I want you all to have that type of mindset as well, because if you do, then we can get you to Cabo. Okay. So I think Cabo, if you haven't already, break down the qualifications based on where you are in terms of your rank right now.
Right.
Okay. So, break it down.
Yeah, break it down. And so, for example, because I know we're coming up at the top of the hour, and we don't want to go much past here the hour. But for example, if you have not achieved the rank of Pro 3 yet, I want you to like literally write it down. This is part of your call to action, right? This is the call to action portion of the training today. Some people like it, but we're going to break it all down here for you. Break it down. If you have not already achieved the rank of Pro 3, when you hit the rank of Pro 3 in February, and then you maintain that rank for March, April, May, and June. So I'm not talking about ranking again. I'm talking about achieving the rank of Pro 3 in February and maintaining that through June. Get your 15 enrollments, get your 3 points for your enrollments. That is 23 points. That's go to Cabo. All right. Let's say you wait till March, you hit Pro 3 in March, then you go ahead and you maintain it in April, in May, and in June. That gives you 18 points plus your 3 points for your enrollments, which you have to have anyway over the next 6 months. That's 21 points. You are going to Cabo. There has never been an incentive trip in my mind that has been more easily attainable. What you need to do In order to, oh, that's right. You know what? I am being corrected. I totally am botching this up. You got to achieve the rank of Pro 4 at least by your last month in order to go ahead and qualify. You got to be a Pro 4 in order to go on the trip. But I think you get what I'm saying here, though, right? You don't have to hit the rank of 4, 5, 6, and 7 and become an elite in order to go on this trip. You can sometimes slow and steady can go ahead and win the race. Be visual. I'm a visual person. Every time we come out with a new incentive, I create a tracker. I create a tracker so that I can literally cross off the PV that we've earned as we're going through this trip, because I know with each, look, if you're like me and you have a to-do list, how much satisfaction do you get when you cross something off that to-do list? That's what it's about for me. And that's could be what it's for you. So I like to literally cross off. It's like I put 10 PV for each square. So someone gets 1 bottle per tandem, 40 PV. That's an enrollment that gets you towards the bonus pool for the extra shares, which was over $200 last month, by the way. And it counts towards your enrollments for a combo. But I get to cross off 4 squares. I'm telling you. All right. It's a mindset thing. Yep.
Yep. And Holly loves her trackers, and you should visualize this as well, because if you don't have a plan right now, if you're just trying to wing this and try to earn the trip, you're probably not going to earn it. But if you have a strategy in place, you need to figure that out and you need to work towards that. So that's part of your call to action, guys. And when you, let's not forget the pool, the bonus pools. Okay. So if you get that new volume in there, if you get that 500 in volume over 5 customers and all the disclaimers around that qualification, you're going to get a part of the pool. That's going to also help you earn the trip as well for that. Last call to action. This is very, very simple because it's going to contribute to you getting to the pools. It's going to get you to help get you to Cabo. But I want everyone on this call right now. I see there's about 700 and some people on there. Right now, this weekend, today's Saturday, I want you to contact 3 new people. 3 new people. Pull them from your list, initiate a conversation with them right now, because maybe you sign them up still this month. Maybe you're setting them up to sign them up in February, but you need to start now. So contact 3 new people. Now think back to what Jason said at the very beginning of this call. He's talking about self-talk. If you're sitting there right now thinking, it's too late, I'm too busy, making all these excuses, for yourself, you got to turn that around. You need more. This is horrible grammar from an author, right? You need more better self-talk, right? So you need to talk yourself that this is attainable, that you can do it, and that you will do it, and reach out to those 3 people, start a conversation, and hopefully you're rolling them, if not this month, next month. Anything else, Harley, before we close out?
Yeah, if you're going to enroll 3, or if you're going to reach out to 3 people this weekend, I want you to drop a 3 in the comments. And better yet, if you thought about people who were busy, if you thought about people that couldn't afford it, if you thought about people who probably are already comfortable and don't need the money, those people should be at the top of your list. Those are the folks that should be at the top of your list. So just real quickly, the tracker that I was sharing, since people are asking, I kind of figured that was going to happen. If you go to lvgopro.com, lvgopro.com, that's our team website. It's actually a tracker that's on our homepage. You can print it out as many times as you want and need to, and you're welcome to that. I did write down one email, but yep, that's it. I know we've already gone a few minutes over, so.
Yep. Thank you so much. We love you all. Sandra, we'll kick it back to you.